Good evening, Speedgaming 4. And I know you just had a race for, I believe it was Momodora, but we are now live with the SGL Link to the Past Randomizer Speedgaming Live spoiler open thing, mini tournament. What we got is spoiler open, so the runners got 15 minutes to look over a spoiler log for this seed here. In that time, they can build a route. We are in the opening round. This is kind of a play-in of sorts. The brackets are supposed to be top 16. What we have here, we had over 16 people who fulfilled the requirements to qualify for this tournament. So instead, we have a bunch of play-in races. Tonight, we got Hydrapower versus Shinmaru, and this actually is the 16 versus 17 matchup. So very hype. I'm Radical Sniper 99, joined by Star 1468 with homemade beer on the tracking. Hello, Star.
Hey Jesse, hope you're doing well tonight. Got ourselves a good match. As mentioned, this is a spoiler lock seed, so runners instantly knew to go get that toke shot from Link's house and to go get the chest from Sanctuary here. And apparently Uncle's got nothing either here, because Hydra Strips just skipped that too. Does have something in the front of escape he wants, it looks like.
Yeah, having taken a bit of a look, I will say this is definitely a nice item to have. I did take a look. There are some little tricks to this seed. I don't disagree with this early play, though. For Hyrule Castle, I didn't look at where all of these are, but this is a nice find to start off. And we're just going to get this first chest here in Hyrule Castle.
Yep.
Because it is our first sword.
And very good reason to go in here is getting a heart container and a heart piece from quite a lot of health and some money for a Shin here in the well. Alright, not bad to have a little safety if it's right there, and money's always nice for bombs and whatnot. Even if not technically required, given that you do have to buy, you do have to have some equipment. You can skip a lot of stuff, but you still do need bombs at some point in the game. And then, and 50 rupees is a good stash for the early game, as we find. That's our other sword here in the back of the bar.
Looks like the hearts are a little nice to start this seed. A couple of easy ones to grab for both of our runners. I do see Hydrapower, after getting that heart, is going to get the flooded item. And yeah, I can see why. The glove is a good find for sure on this. I did take a look. I'm kind of curious when our runners are going to go after those boots. And I see the problem. Our boots, I can tell you, are inside of Eastern Palace.
Yeah, as we are getting an interesting and unfortunately failed attempt at what was not sure what Hydra was going for there.
I mean, I like the fact that we got the 4 bombs. I think that was a good play.
That was. I'm not sure what else he was trying to do there. Almost looked like an Ansela fake flipper setup, but you don't need one in that particular spot. You can do the regular fake flipper.
I will say there is some incentive for a fake flipper, but... Ooh, okay. So I think Hydrapower is going to make the play for this. I think this is going to be the play for the Pearl. Pearl is associated with the mountain in this seed. And what I can't say for sure. I haven't looked at, or thought about what their routes are. I haven't looked at all the items. But I did look. Boots are in Eastern Palace. And our bow is at the Waterfall Ferry. Or one of our bows is at Waterfall Ferry. So what I think is going on here is Hydrapower is going to get the Pearl, fake flipper up to Waterfall Ferry, and then be able to set that up to get the bow, to then get boots in a single dip Eastern Palace.
Yeah, which does look like that would make sense here. And speaking of the Moon Pearl, here's it for Hydrapower. That's going to be a safe quit. Has nothing else he wants to do on the mountain for now, so he's out. Paradox Cave has some nice things, but nothing particularly required for today, it looks like, so, yeah.
I will say there are some great pieces to this seed. I feel like we've seen a lot of these. If you've been watching the qualifiers for this tournament and maybe some of the other races that have been going on. I feel like personally, having done 3 quals myself, I want to say at least 2 of them were Agaseeds. I took a look. I think this one's another Agaseed, folks. So, lots of fun.
Well, there's always definitely some fun. Randomizer likes to do that, though at least with spoiler being what it is, you know where it is. You just where everything is. The challenge with spoilers is going to be figuring out the most efficient way of routing things, and also execution, because you're generally going to have lower health. You're not going to have as much negative safeties. We did see Shinmaru pick up a blue mail from the back of Escape, knowing perhaps that they would like that. And also,
I mean, I want that. I want that full magic, yeah.
Also, that is very handy for hydrapower, as he picks up that is a lamp in Nice Rod Cave.
I mean, looking at our crystal pendant layout, when you've got a crystal mire, I don't hate the play.
Especially in spoiler with low health, yeah. I don't hate it either.
There's some great setups for Dark Mire, but it's still scary when you have to do Vidi.
Yep.
But yeah, so this seed in general, what I will say, or what this race means, as I said, the loser of this race is out of the spoiler log tournament, unfortunately. We are playing to get into a top 16 bracket at this point. What I can also point out is I believe the winner of this race gets our #1 seed.
That would be correct. Gamachu is who the winner of this.
Yes, winner of this race is getting to play Gamachu.
Yep, a very, very formidable player who you don't really want to see in the second round of the tournament, but well, that's how the luck of the draw goes, as there's that bow for both of our runners.
Yeah, and I like this play from Shinmaru, just going and doing the fake flipper water walk kind of setup, and then going back for Ice Rod Cave. Walking out of Ice Rod Cave, I just think is probably a little bit slower, but not too bad either way on this play. Each runner does have one of our swords. As you were saying, Shinmaru got the sword out of Kakariko, while Hydrapower got the one inside of Escape.
Yep.
Given the spoiler that I did drop, I'm starting to lean in the direction that Shinmaru's play might be a little bit stronger for that start.
Quite possibly here, I think, yeah. Having already dipped into Kakariko and is going to presumably pick up the other sword at some point later, especially if you mention this is Agaseed, might just pick up that sword on the way to Agatower.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's some other reason why Hydrapower made this play. Can we get, is there something at Bonkrox? Is there something in, is there a flute available that gives us nice access? So.
Yep.
But here we go, there they are.
Boots,
yep.
As mentioned.
The compass chest of Eastern Palace is our boots. And unfortunately, the only reason we'd ever have to go this way in any race, or at least in spoiler, is either it's something important or it's the big key. And today it is a big key, being vanilla in Eastern Palace. Who would have ever believed that could happen?
Right, it's a really good thing they've got that spoiler log.
I mean, this one's just kind of easy. You know what you're doing when you go through this dungeon. It just means you get to skip right side. But there's definitely some things in this seed I will point out, or at least I will say that be glad we have a spoiler lock.
I agree with you. Checking through things, yeah, there's some really terrible spots for this stuff.
Somehow these seeds have talent of giving this kind of situation.
Randomizer knows that we're playing a spoiler log, so it will force you to go do all this nonsense. If you're gonna if you know where everything is, it's gonna make it terrible.
And yes, these races, you might notice, different from a lot of the Link to the Past randomizer races. This is part of the SGLIVE ALTTP online tournament here. Is a webcam, so you get to see some of our reactions from our runners today. Happiness, sadness, incredulity, anger, whatever the emotion is, we will see it.
Yep.
But here we go. First crystal boss over on Hydrapower side. We do have the Armos Knights. I was about to say, that was a little bit higher of a setup than I'm used to for the Armos quick kill, but still very nicely executed.
Yep. And that is going to be our first crystal for Hydrapower. Shinmaru not far behind. This is still a 7 crystal seed, and they do need to beat both GT and Yen, and that has not changed.
Yeah, shout outs to our tracker, Homemade Beer, also our SG setup helper today. If you look across the bottom there, you do have full crystal pendant information. We have that green pendant at Tower of Hera with Pod and Swamp being pendants. Our 5-6 crystals are Skull Woods and Thieves Town. And it is Bombos for both Mire and Turtle Rock.
Yep.
Okay, so Hydrapower has those boots. Is this going to be just the Kakariko? No, there is something that Hydrapower wants.
Detour here.
Yes.
I did check what that is. Yeah, he does want this. Because this here is our third sword of the seed.
Okay, and I like the play. I was going to say, you know, Shin could just go straight from Eastern into the Aga play, but honestly, a third sword being available at Bonkrox is really helpful before going into the Aga play, so I kind of like the delay from Hydrapower a little better.
Yeah, same here, and Shin's going to go pick up that sword, it looks like, with this save quit.
The one thing I will point out, looking at the money situation for both of our runners, Hydrapower a little bit low on funds at this point.
Yeah, did not pick up some of the money Shinmaru has. I know Shinmaru got some from the well, you said on an early bombs purchase, and then picked up a 300 from it. Don't quite remember where.
It was here in Back of Escape, so this will shore up the money for Hydra.
Okay, so that works out. And here's Master for Shinmaru. He'll get his tempered and escape when he goes to Aga here. Because, as it turns out, even though we do have the Moon Pearl and one glove, neither of its or hammer are available today because, game's mean.
The game has lots of jokes on that stuff. I will say, nice armor, though, with the 300 rupees. Really makes it an easy choice to get that easy money and the easy armor.
For sure, that is very forward-thinking from both of our runners to look at a spoiler log, look for early money, and see, oh hey, there's both money and a blue mail. Great. As Shinmaru's just skipped his sword?
Gonna not pull that tempered. I gotta wonder.
I'm a little confused. Our fourth sword is not in the worst spot ever, but I probably would have liked to have tempered before pod.
Well, I don't know if it matters that much before pod in this seed, to be honest. I would want it for the climb here. But I will point out that the sword that we are skipping here in Hyrule Castle, there are reasons I say the fourth sword is inferior to that sword. And we'll talk about it a little later, because, you know, I understand some people don't like the spoiler. Part of the spoiler, they want to be surprised themselves. But yeah, there's a reason why I think that the 3 swords on Hydrapower side are a little bit better than that third sword on Shin's side. And yeah, Hydrapower, like, you just see that facial reaction of, I know how to do Dark Maze, why did I go that way?
Yeah, sometimes you just make a little bit of go the wrong direction. You've got this better router than I do, I think, so you can answer that question in chat.
I wouldn't say that it's a bad location. It's the implications for how long it takes to do it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that one, just looking at the log here.
Yeah, like, we'll likely pass by this location.
Probably.
But
So we will discuss it when we get there.
yeah.
And
What
also,
I'll
I
just
guess
say is
yeah.
the Hyrule Castle sword is quicker overall, in my opinion.
I would agree with you on that one. Yeah. It's especially if you're like we were discussing, we thought Shinmaru was going to do, which is to go in there on the way up to Aga Tower. It's a quick, 20-30 second detour or something. It's not too
Probably.
far. Versus the other one is probably longer than 20 to 30 seconds, I think.
Yes, I would say so. I will point out, both of our runners are truly gamers, getting the hook speed in the Aga room. And realistically, Hydrapower was a little bit further behind entering Aga Tower, but that sword advantage really makes a difference.
For sure, just all the combat that you have to do in Aga Tower. First blue ball here for Shinmaru.
I will say, just having looked at the log a little bit, I'm kind of surprised we didn't get an extra safety. I'm wondering how safe the rest of this seed is. Saha's Closet did contain the powder. So I thought maybe we would have seen that after the Eastern Palace play. But maybe we have good safeties available in Cape and or bottles.
Debatable looking at that. I've taken note of where all the items are. Let's see. We are in Dark World now for Shinmaru. Hydrapower just behind. We do not need Pyramid Ledge, so off he goes. Do know we've been discussing Pod. It is a pendant, but you'll see here that Shinmaru is going to make a play on over there because there is something they need in Pod. It's a pendant, but they need it anyway, and they don't need a hammer for it because he's going without that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is just very deep in Pod.
It really is. It's really quite rude that they stuck a required item in the deep and unrequired pendant pod, but again, as I mentioned, there's just jokes for this tournament.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of better of a time to do this play.
No,
we can try to
really.
say you can wait on this pickup, but realistically, you just got to go for this one. In terms of the route for this, the front of this pod is actually really kind. For keys, this is a 5-key front pod, so we should see Shooter Room and the bridge, and that's about it.
Yep. Because, spoilers, the item we need in here is in the back.
Yeah. So either we'll see a Hammer Yump or we'll see the Compass Chest. So Hammer Yump skips a 3rd key, but the Compass Chest can also give us that 3rd key. So we'll see which route our runners opt for. I think getting the Compass Room key is probably a little quicker in this case.
Probably. Yeah, it's close.
I mean, if you got a really, really good Hammer Yump, I guess it could be faster, but you're going to the top of the Dark Maze here.
Yeah, it looks like Shinmaru selected to go for this Hammer Yump, but yeah, we're going to the top of the Dark Maze, so technically, if you could getting the small key and going from the top might be a little faster than Hammer Yumping with the pause buffers here. Shinmaru, nice, does get it first try at least. Hydrapower decides to just go for the key.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is the key's
take
right.
a little bit to navigate through it, because key's right
there. Oh, sorry, the Compass Chest, I was wrong. Compass Chest is the big key. I'm an idiot. It's in the dark basement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Hammer Yump, I think, was probably slightly faster than as we find out what they wanted, and that was a glove. Shinmaru's back on the mountain. I'm trying to remember why he's up here. Oh, I see it. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. I think. Yes, it does. Yeah. Well, he is going to get something with the meds from right side from Dark Death Mountain here, and then we'll proceed to go elsewhere.
I see some nice stuff on Light Death Mountain potentially.
Not gonna be able to route light and dark without a mirror, though, and
Well, not nicely, at least. And yeah, if you're going for just the dark or the DDM items, I get that.
Yeah, there's one item specifically he really wants in Super Bunny Cave here, and that makes a lot of sense given what it locks.
Yeah.
I'm sure Chad is very confused, because we've got the log on our hands and are looking at it, trying to figure out what are these runners trying to route? How are...
So, if you've never seen a spoiler log before and what it means, so what our runners are given is the spoiler log will tell you every item. It tells you where they are, where the keys are, where the maps, compasses, everything. It tells you the crystal pendant layout, the medallions for each thing. It even tells you stuff like stun prizes and tree pulls off of stuff. It tells you rupee crabs. The only things it doesn't tell you is like what specifically each enemy prize pack is. And then the organization of it is... So it goes pretty much, it starts with the prizes, gives you some of the special information about like medallions and whatnot, but then it goes through each individual dungeon until it gets past Ganon's Tower, and then it does overworld stuff, where it does Light World, which is everything really in lower Hyrule of the Light World. There's a couple of trick ones there. Technically, stuff like Smith Chain, I believe, is counted as Dark World, so there's some weird ones. Yeah.
K45 is counted as Light World in case anyone's wondering on that.
Yeah. Then there's Death Mountain, so that's Light World Death Mountain, anything there. And then there is Dark World, which includes Dark Overworld and Dark Death Mountain.
Yep.
So, and then some extra little info that's not hugely important.
Yep. Oops! Shinmaru just got wall mastered. They are going to both... While we were discussing things, they did both pick up their fire rod from Super Bunny Cave. That is what they went up the mountain immediately for there. They're not going to go to Skull Woods. Heading straight to the back, they need to beat Mothula, and they also need the chest. So Spoilerlog will list, for example, I posted in the chat there, Super Bunny Cave top is fire rod, is how the fire rod is listed, for example. It will first give the name of the check, which usually is fairly straightforward, though sometimes it can be a little strange to figure out. And then
knowing compasses and map chests is hard.
Yes, it is. And there's the big key, because we need an item from the big chest. There, pick up for Shinmaru. You're just going to pick it up after beating Moth. It doesn't really matter which one you do first.
Yeah, and I will say, the only real concern here, unfortunately, is Shinmaru's still on Master Sword.
Master Sword Moth, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that Temper versus Master difference, that's a really big one on Moth. Especially when you've got 5 hearts. Luma helps, but it's still 5 hearts.
One thing I will point out, nice strategy from Hydrapower there was, you saw Hydrapower take a little bit of damage before dropping into the Moth fight. That was on purpose. Sword beams are terrible. So you don't want sword beams on Moth. They do less damage than a tempered sword, so you want it to be on just tempered sword slashes or tempered sword damage, so I like the damage there.
Shinmaru is going to go for spin strats because those do more damage than regular strats, slashes, and I'm going to use some fire rod shots. And let's see how this goes as Hydra goes for his big key.
And you're seeing that speed difference on this fight now. Shin's playing good on the fight, but Tempered Sword just shreds through the Moth so much better.
Whereas with Master Sword, you have to do a whole lot of dodging and hope you have a window of opportunity to go get a hit, which, as we can see, is not easy as it is. Hydra. And, yes, we do have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I got the order of words wrong there.
Yeah, the
Retro Collection.
Yep.
As Shinmaru is using real audio, as you can tell. Very nice Moth fight for Shin. Does take the Moth down, and that is crystal number 2 for both runners. Also our first red crystal of the Pyramid Fairy today. And we're gonna go see what that big chest has. don't fall in the pit, Hydra.
I love the bomb jump. Oh no!
Oh, and don't do that. That's called out a little bit of time, so now Shinmaru is pretty much right next to him again. Those got the rope jump on the first try. That did not work for Hydra, and there's the mirror. That's what they wanted from here.
Yeah, this bonkable version of the bomb jump does open up the range on the bomb jump a little bit. Hydrapower clearly very happy.
And we're going to see the immediate save code back up the mountain here for Shin. And I believe we're going to see the same for Hydra because they have something they need that's mirror locked up here. Lots of back and forth to see.
Yep.
And no, they really couldn't get this earlier.
Nope. That's what we want. We definitely want a flute.
Yes, I do. And as mentioned, this scene really has jokes. This would have been a whole lot worse if this one were alive.
And yeah, we're not going to head into Hera at this point. We do actually just want to activate our flute.
Yep. Hera is something that, well, it's a green diamond, and there's nothing in it, so we're never going in.
Okay, so I said I wasn't sure if Shinmaru was going to get the fourth sword, or that sword out of Bonk Rocks. Still not going to get that sword out of Bonk Rocks.
Nope, just
and this would have been the time for it.
Past it. Yeah, I was going to say, okay. No, yeah, and Hydra there tried to play the flute as soon as he picks it up. No, you need to activate it first.
Yeah, I'm just wondering when the sword's going to come then, because, like, clearly we're just not getting the Bonk Rock sword.
That's obvious.
And you want tempered, like, you're choosing between two swords now, and I think Bonk Rocks was more convenient at that moment.
So would I. Actually, I was wrong on the Pyramid Fury, but we'll see that later. I'm also curious.
I like this play. No, this is very much needed.
Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, I had to check what this was first.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, Shin skipped front of escape.
Actually, right.
You're right.
Duh.
My bad.
Thank you, chat. We both brain parted. Yeah. Never mind that then. He might round in the fourth sword as we get flippers is what they are both each for that I forgot about. They need this. They will be back later for Mire and Desert, but they do need those flippers right now.
And you might be thinking, you know, is there something in that Thieves Town big chest? Like, why aren't we just beating Thieves yet? I'd say there's a reason to wait on Thieves. A little bit. I don't hate this play.
I think they're going to just go route Thieves and then head south, because we still don't have our hammer to note.
I don't know. I think I would wait on Thieves here.
Hydra's just going to pick up the big heal while he's here. That's fine. You need to pick it up at some point, whether you do so now or when you come back to... and beat it up, I guess. I mean, this works. You can also come back later and beat it with Mire. That works. I don't really have a complaint either way. And Shin's just going to... Let's see... Try to remember which chest is which in Thieves Town.
So the first chest is the map chest. The second chest is called the ambush chest. Third chest is our compass chest. And then the fourth chest is the big key chest.
And the one we actually want is the chest here. But Shin has figured out at least this one because it has a rice rod in it. We need that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna have Sea Desert be in here for Hydrapower. Shinmaru is going to route that with Mire later. I guess either works. I think the thing here might be somewhat faster, but you can. I don't have a particularly strong opinion either way right now.
I like the play on the desert. I mean, it was pointed out in chat that like Shin skipped the DP big key. I think that is a mistake when you're already in there, like bailing without the big key. Yeah. In terms of the quicker way to kill, Hydra had a good fight, so I don't blame. Like I don't think that fight gets a lot faster.
No,
later in the seed,
very nice player rod fight because. I mean, I guess you could make it a little faster with silvers, but you'll never get silvers today.
I think we can get silvers, and that's why I'm surprised by the. That's why I'm surprised by the Thieves Town play. So I'll talk about this safety because it is a little out of the way, but I don't think it's ridiculously so. Our silver arrows are at hammer peg.
Yeah. Which is a little bit of a detour.
It's a little bit of a detour, yes. I don't disagree with you.
Hammer location, but it's also not that bad, especially with a flute.
So, like, part of me is thinking I could have done Thieves Town with the hammer, and it doesn't change anything. Honestly, it's just a question of, you know, come back
here with hammer and pick up silvers while you're in the area a second time, yeah. But the other thing is, do they actually need to come back here a second time? Or is,
no.
I'm not sure they don't. Yeah, because that's the thing, is that going back here just to beat thieves to get silver seems like a bit of a time sink here is really the issue, because our hammer is not here. They're going to get it in a little bit, but this game gave us a really good
I was gonna say, this front of Thieves Town has really been rough for Hydra.
Yeah,
and he is definitely not happy with these money beams.
No, he really isn't. Silver's only for Viddy and Spoiler. Yeah, Beer. We do need to beat Viddy, but, well, Hydra's has tempered, and I assume Shinmaru is going to eventually get tempered, I think.
I have to believe it's going to be after this.
Coming out of Thieves Town is going to be the best time he has to route the fourth sword in, actually, yes. I'm so surprised he didn't get the front escape one, but he does have a decent chance to route his fourth sword coming out of here.
Oh, sorry, Telethar, you are right. I did not look that far into my log.
Oh, true, yes. You do need Thieves Town for 5-6. I misread the log earlier, but you need Fear Fury.
But yeah, here's that third sword coming up for Shinmaru. It is that dig game. The reason why Star and I were saying this is not probably as fast as Hyrule Castle is count the digs, folks.
Yeah, this is one of the things that is listed to the spoiler log because it is seen.
Yes, this is spoiler information.
And have a count. I'm not sure why Echo Blue Balls aren't listed because those are also suited, but anyway, yes. The game digs is in the spoiler log, and yeah, you can see how many digs this is. It's not bad. There we are, 27 digs, everyone.
Yeah, 27 dig game. And yeah. So when we said that Hyrule Castle was probably a more efficient sword, that's why.
Yeah. Like, it might have been like a 20 to 30 second detour to go get it from on the way back to town. I think that was more than 20.
Right.
To go over one screen and do 27 digs.
And that's the thing, like, this could just be, like, I'd be curious to hear Shin's take on that. Was that I didn't read that part of the log. Might not be familiar that the dig game is listed for timing.
It is listed with the crystal information at least, but maybe just looked right over it. As we are now going to see a hammerless small play. Yes, there is a reason for it. You will see it very shortly. And
no, it is not because we're allowed to do spec clip.
No, that is not the reason.
Hydrapower's gotta watch out here. Ooh.
Just take it down. They at this point will not be getting either their keep or Burna. Your Burna's in the well. Abominable Chesters by Shinmaru didn't pick it up when he made a trip to the well earlier. And keep is in Paradox Cave, which looks like they will both be skipping today. Alright, so why are they coming into Swamp without a hammer?
What other reason do you come into Swamp Palace without a hammer? To get the hammer.
Because your hammer is right there. This is one of those reasons why this scene would be absolutely terrible without a spoiler log.
And if you're wondering, wait, why are we still in Swamp Palace? Well, that's the joy. This seed, this pendant swamp in this seed did not just have one item we needed.
It had two, at least. This game won't just go to 2 or 3 pendants today. I did mention earlier that we didn't see a Hera play when we got the blue. That's because we do not need Hera or the green pendant, but we do need both Swamp and Pod today because, well, thanks. Okay, Shinmaru does remember which show says which is spoiler lock, because he's going to head straight here. This is the compass chest for those who don't know.
Yeah, so if you have not been paying attention to some of the logic of this seed, we started off with a pretty early Aga seed. You had to go to Pod for your mitts. Those were very much required, and there's Bombos Medallion. But
required for both Myra and TR today. That's why they're still they had to keep.
So you had to go to Pod to get your Titan's mitts. But then you wanted to go up the mountain with those mitts to get your Fire Rod, to get the mirror out of the back of Skull Woods, to go back up the mountain to get your flute off of Spectacle Rock, to then go into Desert Palace to get your flippers, to go beat Thieves Town, to get the Swamp Palace, of course, as well, to get your hammer, as well as Bombos.
And now you need to do Pyramid Berry.
Yeah, there's been like a very steady chain in this seed. This is like spheres just on top of each other. But yeah, there is a reason, and Telethar did point this out. I completely missed this in my cursory inspection of the log. There is an item here at Pyramid Fairy.
Yep, I also missed it, to be honest, even though I wrote it down. I probably brain-farted it. We do need it, so we're going to take a quick trip over here, pick this up, and if I haven't gone bonkers, I believe that is actually going to be functional good for runners.
You are not wrong. This is Go mode right here.
I mean, they've technically been in no mode this entire time with the spoiler log race, but that Samaria is the last thing they need to beat this game.
I thought it was the shield. Oh wait, no, we already needed the shield to get into to Swamp Palace. How'd they do that?
Did no one get a bottle? No fear, our bottles are Ether Tablet, Paradox Cave, Floating Island, and GT, so no. Neither one felt like detouring to Paradox Cave, Ether Tablet, and Floating Island both suck, and, well, GT.
Like I said, I thought the safety to get in this seed was powder out of Saha's closet, so I'm kind of surprised both of them skipped it.
Yeah, that is the least terrible spot to. That's the best safety they've got, because they're not getting a bottle. Shinmaru is going to go get silvers, it looks like, making a special detour just for this. Cape's also in Paradox next to one of the bottles, so they're not getting that.
Yeah, and Shinmaru is going to get those silver arrows that we were talking about here at the pegs. I understand the route now, and yeah, this makes a lot of sense overall, and I think the silvers are worth it.
Yeah. So Hydrapower is gonna go get his Smart here and be in functional go mode. And Shinmaru is going to be our first runner back to my area, but still needs to beat Desert, so Hydra will actually have a slight lead here going in to our last couple of crystals.
Yeah, and this is one of those time losses we were talking about over on Shinmaru's side, having to return to Desert Palace to get this big key.
Yeah, like, they did need to flip from the torch earlier, and it is a time loss to run back in. Shinmaru might be able to save a little time on having silvers for Landmost if he one-cycles it, but Hydra had a very, very nice Fire Rod Landmost, so
and that's the thing, Fire Rod Landmo is still a one-cyclable fight, so like either fight is about as much of a gimme as the other.
Yeah, and especially because yeah, with the skill level our runners are showing here, Hydra's also going to pick up the silvers.
The other point here is that if Shinmaru is thinking of doing spooky action in Mire, he will have to re-flute to 8, or sorry, to 6.
That is also a good point, yes.
Yeah, getting the crystal here in Desert before beating Mire disables the spooky. So if he wants to spooky in Mire, he will have to re-flute.
And that will be an additional time once we chooses to do that. Not doing spooky also takes a bit of time. So, Hydro's gonna go off to Ice Palace first. That's fine. That's neither order really. So, yeah.
I feel hurt by this choice though. I'm like, I want to know exactly what the time is. But I guess at this point, what we can say is Hydrapower enters Ice Palace before Shin finishes Desert. Yeah. And Desert was the tying crystal.
Let's see. Ice Palace we can run straight through. We have the King of Samaria. This will be fairly quick. That's my big key spot.
Well, and what I'll say about Ice Palace is, for a lot of runners, this is something that was talked about when we had the NMG League for Vanilla Preset recently. You know, is Ice faster with the big key or without the big key, and going back for the switch press. In this case, our Ice Palace is really faster doing the switch hit here because our big key is in Ice Tea today.
Not getting that. It is a substantial detour to go there.
Yeah, this is one of those seeds where hitting that switch is a lot faster. There are seeds where just going and getting the big key on your way to Cold Stare is the faster strat. In this seed, no. Ice Tea is slow.
Very, very slow. Shinmaru is going into Mire now. Our big key, and this is not a God Mire. The value of big key is, well, not friendly today. Don't know if you've seen it yet, Jesse.
I just looked at it. It's a great spot. I mean, I prefer that chest to what I call the map chest, so...
That's fair. That map chest is kind of annoying.
I hate map chests in this dungeon, so I am very happy to see it not there. Although our runners are probably not really happy with where it actually is.
Yeah, we'll see it here in a little bit for Shinmaru, but it is not in fact a God Mire. Map chest is going to be the small chest on the right side of Mire. For those who don't know, that's not the big chest.
So this chest in this room is called the Arena chest. Over here on the left side, you've got the Compass chest, which is the torches up. Torches down, however, is the Vanilla Big Key chest, and yes, that is where our big key is.
Big Key.
Yep.
The game continues to troll as Hydrapower arrives on Cold Stare here.
I will say the big key would have made itself known though today. We did have a small key in the Compass chest, so at least we would have had that knowledge.
It is true.
And good point by Homemade Beer here for the Mire play on Shin's side. Hitting that switch actually not required to get the big key chest here, and will require another switch hit when in the basement. Yeah. So would have been very easy to skip that. Unfortunately, what is the case a lot in this kind of mode, or just when you play this game, is you get into muscle memory, and this is one of those things. Is that you're going for the big chest or the big key chest, and whenever you go left side, you think, I hit the switch.
Yep. Just autopilot, which can definitely come back to bite. Hydrapower entering Mire as Shinmaru heads to the back. Just get Spooky Glitch off there. I don't remember. Have we explained what Spooky actually is yet, Jesse?
What?
Have you explained what the Spooky Glitch actually is yet?
Basically, you kick up some dust while placing that Samaria block, or put something else on screen while you put down the block. And what it helps do, as long as you set it up when you flute to the Mire area, you can adjust the altitude value on the fire rod shots in the few rooms, and it allows you to hit the switch. Beyond that, I have no way of describing it that is at all technically correct. So if I just butchered the explanation, I'm sorry. But Shinmaru does take down Vitreous for another crystal.
Very nice. And I know less than you do, so. Mechanics Suzuki, so Hydra also does hit the switch there. And it's gonna head down.
And it turns out chat was steering us wrong. Shin didn't hit the switch. And he did reset up Fuki.
Okay,
Guys, I trust you.
Okay, I'm taking a look at our TR and GT key layouts. Could be worse. Your first mistake was trusting chat.
I mean, I trust Beer and Telethar. I mean, Beer's our tracker.
That is true. As reminds me, we really should do a few shoutouts here. Please do give both of our runners a follow, hydrapower and Shinmaru, as well as my co-con Jesse and our tracker, Homemade Beer.
I will say, Turtle Rock in this seed is quite the safety dungeon.
Yeah, there's two architectures on Laser Bridge.
And yes, it is a pleasure to work with you again tonight, Star.
Oh, it's a pleasure, yes. But yeah, there are 2 heart containers on Laser Bridge and a heart piece on Trinex, so if you want the health, you can go find some. I don't know if either runner will. They are currently at 4 hearts for Hydropower and 5 hearts for Shin, but we'll see.
I don't know, given the fact... What I'll say is I'm looking at this key layout for TR, and I think the heart containers on Laser Bridge are great exactly because of the point Telethar just made in chat. There is a key on Laser Bridge. The 4th key is not vanilla, or is not in the big key chest, and is not in the big sorry, it's in the big chest though. Big chest for a 4th key, I'm very shaky on whether or not the big chest or the Poke's faster.
We don't have a big chest key. That's a map on big chest.
Oh, you're right. I can't read. Clearly.
Reading is hard.
It is. It's fundamental, but it is also very hard. So yeah, sorry. So yeah, looking at those keys, we got 2 in the front, we got 1 in Crystal Roller, and we have the 4th on Laser Bridge. I think you do skip the Pokey here. You get the 2 heart containers on Laser Bridge, and you get your 4th TR key on Laser Bridge. So I think it's a good idea to do all of Laser Bridge in this seed.
Yeah. Alright, Hydrapower first runner back up the mountain for the 4th time. Here to go and beat the game.
In terms of not a huge advantage for Hydrapower here, but oof, get a little bullied by the bedrock. Yeah. Oh, and down to 1 heart. But yeah, what I'll say is Hydrapower's play to get that sword earlier, which I think was maybe a little inefficient in some regards. Like, I think the Hyrule Castle sword could have waited until doing Agate Tower, but I do like that red mail. I think having Tempered Sword before Shinmaru is really the key difference here.
Yeah, it definitely saves some time, both Agate Tower, on Moth especially, and just other little things. And yes, Hydrapower did take a quick move towards the Paradox Cave here, just to pick up red mail.
Yeah, I thought maybe we would have seen the other safety on Light Death Mountain, but apparently not. Paradox Cave did have our cape, and we're not going to get it. We just wanted the extra armor in Paradox 2.
Yep. Yeah, also, that's a point from Telethar in chat that Shinmaru lost a fair amount of time getting the not getting the Desert Pig his first trip through. Shinmaru also does not pick up that red mail to note. It's going to get Fairy.
And get bullied by Deadrock.
Yep. Deadrock's getting both the runners here, and Hydrapower is going to enter TR at, let's see, 49. 10, 11 here.
Yeah.
Let's go with 49-10.
That was about right when the circle started to close. We
do need to go to the right side, unfortunately, because our the key is over here.
I mean, we need to do all the front, I think. Did I misread that too?
Let's see. Chain chomps is skippable. They do need compass chest key.
Yeah. So all the front 3. And that was a 49-40, so about 30 seconds difference.
Okay. Yeah, because we have a big key here and a small key. Compass chest is another key. Let's see. Crystal roller is a key, and then our 4th key is a laser bridge.
Yeah, like I said, I think you skip everything. You go to Crystal Roller, get your 3rd key. That gets you to Laser Bridge, and then you get your 4th key off a Laser Bridge with the 2 heart containers. I think you want to feel a little bit safer at this point.
I think so.
We will need this Poke Key, however.
Cannot skip that.
We can hopefully we cannot do a key dash through Chomps because left Chomp is a jerk.
Yep.
Oh, and going up the middle here for Shinmaru did result in that skull giving a nice little tap. And those are very dangerous enemies.
Yep. Okay, gets health refill off the Poke here.
Hydra did go for the Poke Key, surprisingly.
Okay. You don't have to have it, given that both remaining keys are quite available in Crystal Roller Room and Laser Bridge, but does decide to pick this up.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if Hydrapower actually just skips Laser Bridge completely now. I wonder how comfortable he feels with just going straight into GT with 4 hearts. I also don't know how many heart pieces he's been holding.
Yeah, I've got no idea. They haven't opened many chests, and I don't think there was much of any heart pieces in the ones they have opened. I don't actually know for sure. Just gonna pick up the Crystal Roller key here, so that's not gonna be skipped.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Shinmaru's or Hydrapower having red mail is necessarily safer here, because really what Hydrapower is dealing with a lot in GT is guaranteed damage. Stuff like those fire bars here on the Dark Maze, as well as the spike traps in GT or the BMOS in GT are guaranteed 1 heart of damage. So you're kind of already taking a lot of punishment to begin with on anything. So that 1 heart actually makes a bigger difference than you might realize.
Yes, it does. And Hydrapower is going to skip Laser Bridge, as Shinmaru will be checking the chests here. Or at least a couple of them. Because top right is a heart container, top left is also a heart container, and then bottom left's our last key. We're gonna get a look at crystal catch times for our runners here.
So yeah, like, if this was just all the other dungeons, I would be very much inclined to agree that red mail versus blue mail might be sufficient, but the GT climb has a lot of guaranteed 1 heart damage courses.
Yeah, and that adds up when you only have 4 hearts. Nice, does get Trinex down nice and quickly. That is Shinmaru up to 7 hearts on the other side. And that's that heart piece. 5 hearts actually for Hydra, and 54 flat is our crystal catch time for Hydrapower.
You may notice that Hydrapower did just say a little bit of a everything is fine here in chat. That is allowed in the spoiler tourney. Because our runners know everything, they can watch their opponent, they can be here in a restream. all's good.
Yep.
This is a cool tournament in that regard. I can't say both runners are watching or even want to watch. I do know a lot of people will say it's too stressful to watch their opponent in this mode.
Yep. And that is a 54-38 crystal catch for Shinmaru, so 38-second difference finishing TR.
In terms of our Ganon's Tower tonight,
our big key is over in the big key room behind Ice Armors.
yay, Vanilla.
Is going to pick up a key off the torch and then go right side here.
I don't know. Do you go right side?
I think, or maybe not actually. I was thinking
You're already on left,
you
so I
go
think you're going full left.
just full left. Yeah, I was like, which one's faster actually, to go full left or full right?
DM room has one small key. That's not great. Fire Snake doesn't. Bob's doesn't. Big key room doesn't. Yeah, the small keys aren't great. Hope has a small key.
Yeah, that's the reason I was thinking about full right here. And Shinmaru is actually going to get back to go full right. Speaking of.
I think the only thing I don't like about this play is the fact that there's just so much... Like, is there something over here? Not really.
Not really. Drink.
And it's like, I just don't like the bridge here on right side. That collapsing bridge room on the right side is really a pain.
It is. Because, yeah, there's nothing in Compass Room that they actually want. There is a shovel there, but they don't need it.
And really, Shinmaru's going to have to go back to left side anyway, potentially. Or we're going to have to get an extra key.
Yeah.
There is not a small key on... No, there isn't.
Nope,
Mini
there
Helma
is
room is just bombs, and pre-Moldorm is the compass. So Shin's going to have to go left side. Or... Big key doesn't either, and the big chest doesn't either. Like, he's gonna have to go left side to get a key. And there's the blob deciding, or the jelly deciding, yeah, we're gonna electrify right at the wrong moment.
Yeah. So yeah, given that Kilian, I think yes, Hydrapower definitely the correct choice to go full left instead of full right here to get over.
And this is what I was saying about the damage and why it matters. While Hydrapower does have red mail, that spike room had done 3 hearts of damage without really even, any mistakes. Like, the damage strat for this first room will take 3 hearts of damage.
Yeah, the issue is it's 3 hearts of damage when you're at 5 total.
Yeah. So Shin having 7 hearts doesn't seem like a big deal with red mail, but that room is kind of the argument as to why health matters.
Yep. There's a big key for Shin.
Although I do see Hydrapower's got bombs out. He is going to go for this fairy. The fairy refill room. I don't hate it.
Neither do I, given that his health situation. Shinmaru entering the gauntlet now, or entering the climb now, not yet the gauntlet. Frank.
So Shin is taking the slightly safer route in terms of damage, only taking 2 hearts. There are some 0 heart damage strats that you might see people use in this tournament. Unfortunately,
Hydra does miss the 1 cycle.
Yeah, and you can see the displeasure at the rock getting thrown that.
Yeah, he is not happy with it. And yes, we do see Gamachu in the chat there. This is, in fact, the winner of this will, in fact, be going on to face the number 1 seed Gamachu in the next round.
Now, the big thing, of course, to keep in mind for what this all means in that sense, while the loser of this race is technically out of the tournament, if winning this match puts you into double elim for the top 16. This play-in round was a single elim race. Or like best of 1 single elim. What happens when we hit top 16 is it becomes I believe it's a single elimination or best of 1 double elim. So
The launch shows it as double elim from round 1, but I also haven't read the rules doc, I'll admit, so I'm not sure on the specifics.
I believe that's the case. Amerith can correct me. I know she's been running a ton of the stuff throughout this, so
Okay,
she would know
let's go
best.
with Mira, saying at top 16 double elim best of 1, thank you.
Yes. I thought I had it right. We do see that Shin also not getting that quick kill, but also cleaning up on the second cycle.
Yeah. And, okay, Challenge is weird as well, fair. Challenge is a very peculiar website.
Yes.
Speaking of someone who has the misfortune to wrangle with it for some of the other SGL tournaments, anyway, we are now past the hour mark here. While some seeds of this tournament can definitely go sub-hour, this seed's item placements, but no, not really.
Yeah, I think there was a possibility for a sub-hour, but there's just a lot of backtracking and back and forth. The 4 mountain climbs is not going to help your time, ever.
No.
I think there's a few things that, like, we can agree could be improved. If, like... And I'm having a tough time because they both needed a sword.
Yes, because Hydrapower got the front of escape one. Shinmaru did 27 digs for his.
Well, I'm not even saying that. Like, I probably would have skipped. Skipping the Hyrule Castle sword makes a lot of sense early to get it with other things. I'm just trying to think of how all that works out and better.
Yeah, that's true, because Hydra made a specific detour for the... Hydra made a specific trip just for the Hyrule Castle sword to start, whereas Shin made an early CAC play for his first sword. And then they both picked up Bonkrox a touch later once they had access to it.
And unfortunately, Hydrapower not going to get that 1-in-1. Did not get a double spin off the Trident to start. We'll see what that... Oh, this is still good placement for the start of Phase 2.
Yeah, they're going to both be in the 105-ish range, I think. Thereabouts. I'm not sure I can think of a ways for them to have saved 5 or so minutes on this seed. Like, they've made varying errors here and there, but this has definitely been a little bit longer of a seed for this mode, and...
Knowing what I've seen in this tourney, I would believe some people could be pushing sub-hour for sure. There's definitely some ways to clean up the route. I would assume this is always a hard mode to get a perfect route in 15 minutes. You know, that's our goal, but 15 minutes is almost never enough time for that.
No. And that's part of the challenge as well, is you don't have an infinite amount of time to study the log. You have to decide how much can you route in 15 minutes.
But there we go. That is the 4th silver arrow into Ganon for Hydrapower. Looks like he should be able to take this race. Just has to cross that good old 1x3 bridge, and we'll get to move on to face Gamachu.
Yep. Because GG's here with an official race time.gg time of 118 of okay, subtract 15 minutes, 103.39.
Yeah, so the race time does always have an extra 15 minutes built into that time because it will tell you the time plus spoiler read. So that's why it says a 118 there. Both of our runners, though, decided to have their clocks based off of the start time of them running.
Yep.
I will say both runners really playing this as a dangerous Ganon fight. Both of them into Oko by the time they hit Phase 3.
Yeah, shit is down to 1 heart here.
I mean, hydrapower was at 2 hearts, which is not much safer.
No. Cannon does hit pretty hard.
Ooh, that was scary.
Yep. And does get a nice double here to finish off the fight, and we'll be done not too long after, but here with, once he crosses this 1x3 bridge, with an official time of, let's see, this will be a 1:05:10, according to race time. GG.
Yeah, 105.10 for Shinmaru, 2nd place overall tonight. Good run for both of our runners. I do see in the race room Shinmaru saying, I made it through without dying. I think that's as much as I can ask for. So I cannot disagree with that. You know, if you don't die, that's a good run in this mode, very much so. See if we can get our runners in to talk about this one a little bit. I do see Shinmaru in the waiting room.
And we are now joined by Shinmaru. Let's get hydrapower up here as well. And we'll chat with both runners, see what they thought about this.
Oh, GG's. I guess
GG,
wait
Shin.
for hydrapowers. Oh, yeah, man.
Okay, just doing a quick mic check, it looks like. And there we are. Hey, hydrapower, GG's.
GG, how's it?
Yo, GG's, man.
Yeah, GG, man. Oh man, that was such a.
What
dumb
is?
thing.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen some trash seeds so far. We saw a bunch of trash seeds and quals, and I guess they just decided to continue for brackets.
Yeah,
Hey,
oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the secret is like all the seeds are trash, and we learned that
Yeah.
through playing spoilers. So,
Yes.
and Shin was the one that rolled this one, so let's just
Yeah.
put the blame squarely on him. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, this is where we praise the spoiler log because it meant we didn't have to search for these items on our own.
Yes. Oh my
Oh,
god.
goodness, yeah. Can you imagine having to go... Hey, you guys made 4 trips up Death Mountain. That hammer
Yep.
is in quite a location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
There was some
really
terrible spots.
I mean, if you're playing a normal seed and the specky clip is allowed, then you might be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll just do swamp, and then, but the flippers were in a dumb spot too, so it was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you had to like, I wasn't thinking about them, and then I thought of them like around the time of like activating the flute, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to be missing an item here. So I had to quick, and this is what happens in spoilers all the time. You have to quick, like, change your plan on the fly because you came up with a plan and then you realize your plan has holes in it. And so that was something that I figured out, thankfully, in time. But yeah, this is definitely a specky seed because you're like, oh, I'll just dive swamp without the hammer. It's pendant, but that's okay. And ta-da, there's the hammer. You win.
I mean, I have to say, I think at the point that you get down to swamp even being an option, you've probably full cleared the rest of the seed.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh man, yeah, it was silly for sure, but I'm glad everybody enjoyed that. So
I was gonna say, I have to admit, I think chat was really loving both of the face cams today. You guys were so expressive throughout. Just the reactions were amazing. I do want to ask Shin
Yes.
about Dig Game.
I know that was so
yes.
bad, dude.
Was this
I
just
was like-
not to check the dig number, or?
Well, first of all, I am very new to this, so I didn't even think to check the dig number.
Okay.
And then I was like, I was like, oh man, should I get this stupid sword? Oh, it's so far away. But then I'm like, the other sword's a dig. I'll just get dig game. And it's like, oh, then I'm just like every freaking dig, my soul is just dying more. Well, like I made so many. This is such a mistake. It's like pure Arrested Development. I've made such a huge mistake.
Fair enough. I can understand that. That's definitely one of those spots in the log that can evade people. It is right at the top of the log with the medallion information, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, and at the end
But
of the game,
very easy to overlook.
I was also at the end of the game. I was also definitely wishing I had just just ran over to Saha just to pick up that powder. I really
Yeah,
wish
oh,
I'd done that.
that was the one surprise. Both of you skipping powder after Eastern. Any consideration?
I mean, powder's really good in this, but
yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed like not feasible because you look at it and you're like, oh, this isn't that far out of the way, but all this time, all these times, detours really add up, and you just don't have the time to find time to do that. So, you kind of just go with what you got. I only had 4 hearts for the majority of the seed, but I took the opportunity to peek the restream as I was going to Turtle Rock because I knew the red mail was in Paradox, which I hadn't been to yet. And so I'm thinking, okay, it looks like I have just enough time to grab that, and that'll probably help me along the way. And then, the cape was in the other Paradox cave, and as I didn't grab it, I'm climbing up GT. I'm like, I should have grabbed the cape. I'm so dumb.
I was like wondering how to do Aga. Like I saw the cape, I was like, oh, it's just cape. Other than this second sword is pretty free. I don't need the cape, and I was like, I was really wishing I got that cape too. But the whole reason that's the whole reason I got the silvers, by the way, is because I didn't get the cape. Like I'm not doing 5 heart vidi. No, thank you.
I mean, you both did it, so you both went and got silvers. I can't blame you.
Silvers have, I think, even more value in spoilers because you're at such a low health ratio there, and in my mind, there's like 2 main bosses that you really need to determine how you're going to kill, and that's Cold Stare and Vitreous. And Vitreous, you've got no, we have no invincibility. I mean, I could have grabbed Berna out of the well, but I never went to the well, and the well, I think, had nothing else, so that seemed like something I couldn't afford to do. But yeah, so, and then the silvers have value against Ganon as well, and against Landmo, which I don't know, I got hit by a rock somewhere that I didn't see, so I was mad about that.
Yeah, we saw.
But I feel like that was okay to do, to go to Hammer Pegs together, because you couldn't get them before you got the hammer out of the swamp, which is
exactly
one spot. Oh man, I don't know. It was goofy, but it was fun, and I had a good time, and it seemed like
I do want to ask one other question for Hydrapower, actually. What about the Laser Bridge hearts? Any consideration on that instead of Pokey?
I thought about that too, but at the same time, like, I'm not 100% keen with laser skips. I mean, I know how to do them, and I can do them fairly reliably, but I'm like, do I want to take that chance here? And I'm like, no. Actually, what I was going to do is grab the 2 hearts out of Hype Cave, and then I was just being goofy about all the swamp stuff, emoting and chat, and then I just walked by Hype Cave and I forgot about the hearts as I'm getting to the pyramid, and I'm like, well, I'm a dingus, so I guess we're going without those. I actually was going to grab those because my preferred heart count for these is 7, and since I missed them, I then thought about the red mail, which I knew was there. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have bothered with the red mail. But that was, again, one of those plans that you sort of change on the fly because of one reason or another, self-inflicted or not.
So, of course, we were talking about this. Unfortunately for Shinmaru, this is kind of the end of the road for you in the spoiler tourney. Hopefully you had a good time with this.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I'm very much new to spoiler. I can literally count the number of spoiler races I've done on one hand. So I think given that,
you did pretty good to make it in then. So
yeah, I was gonna say, with that in mind, I think I did pretty all right. I mean, my expectations for myself were pretty reasonable, I think so.
I mean, you're seated higher than me, so either I'm washed up or you're getting better. I don't know.
Yeah, this was our 16-17 matchup, so very much even through the qualifiers.
I could only do 2, the 2 early ones where everybody joined, so I wasn't gonna get too many points out of those. But since everybody made it in, I'm just like, whatever, it doesn't really matter where I am because I'm gonna have to face elite players such as Gamachu in the next round.
Yes, we were talking about that. You are getting Gamachu for your start of top 16. Our number one qualifier. He's spent so
much time playing SMZ3 that I think he's forgotten how to play the Zelda part because he's focusing too much on the Super Metroid part. So maybe I have a chance. I don't know. I'm just bringing him there. But it should be a good matchup for sure.
Yeah, and that does mean, of course, you are in a double elim situation. So even a loss there does not throw you out of the tournament. So
Yeah, and I specifically joined this tournament because of the fact I could get knocked out early. There was like minimal time commitment that associated with it. I'm like, oh, I like spoilers, and hey, one game, that's fine with me. But no, I'm definitely looking forward to the game and matchup and whoever I end up facing after that, because I'll probably lose to him. But it should be. I'll try to keep it close. It should be a good matchup, and we'll get that on the schedule here for you guys pretty soon.
Awesome. Anything else from either of our runners?
Yeah, just GG's getting Hydra. I had a great time. Thanks to the restream, to comms, trackers, restreamers, etc. It was fun.
Yeah, I want to echo that. Thanks everybody for your volunteering. Sniper and Star, appreciate your comms. I'm not sure who the tracker was, but thank you to the tracker, whoever that was.
Beer.
Oh, that's right. I should have known that. But yeah, no, it was a fun time, you guys, and we'll see you all again next mission. Thank you.
GG's, and good luck next round, hydrapower, and good luck in whatever you end up doing next, Shinmaru.
Thank you.
We do have there in the chat here, I've put the links. Please do give both runners a follow. hydrapower and Shinmaru, my co-com Sniper 99, and our tracker Homemade Beer. We do have more matches for this tournament coming up. Our next match on the schedule looks like right now is going to be Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern between Specs and Area Stark. And then one after that will be on Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern between Amarith and Moogletron. But in the meantime, I think that's going to be it for us here. Thank you for watching all, and have a good night.